Ahoy there, makers! So we've had some special news today. The Raspberry Pi RP2350 has just been launched, as well as the Raspberry Pi 2. So let's have a look at that on some slides. Let me just grab over to press the right button, Kevin. There we go. So I'm obviously joined by Paul here as well, Guru.
Hey, folks.
So you probably want to know all about the RP2350. It doesn't roll off the tongue quite as easily as the RP2040. I'll get used to that. And obviously the Pico 2, which uses the RP2350. So yes, this is the brand new chip. It's part of the same lineage as the RP2040. It's priced at $1 more than the previous model. And at launch, this is the model without Wi-Fi. This is the sort of Wi-Fi-less version of it. And it's available very soon. I'm sure we'll get some more information on that very shortly from Eben. So yeah, you want to know, one of the most interesting things about this is it's a dual-core, dual architecture. So it has two different cores inside, and you can use any two. You can use two of the Cortex M33, which is the new upgraded processor, or you can use the new RISC-V Hazard 3 processor. Both of these cores run at 150 megahertz.
So you've actually got 4 cores in there.
4 cores.
But you can only use 2 of them. But you can mix and match any of them. So you can have 1 of each, or 2 of one, 2 of the other. It's up to you.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then the other thing that's notable, as well as the higher clock speed, is it also has double the RAM. So it's now got 520K, so not 512. It's got an extra 8 kilobytes in there as well. So 512 kilobytes of RAM. And 26 multi-purpose GPIO pins, including 4 that can be used for ADC as well. So you've got the usual 2 UARTs, 2 SPI connectors, 2 I2C connectors, and 24 pulse width modulations.
It's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, 12 PIO state machines. Has that increased from the previous model?
A little bit, yeah. I think there's kind of one more set of stuff on there now.
Yeah. And the interesting thing with this, we'll have a look on the overhead in a second. It comes in 2 different sizes depending on what the use case is. So the Pico 2 variant of this, which I've got here, I'll show you this on the overhead in a second. That's using the sort of A size chip. And it's available in a larger size chip. This is on a product we'll show you in a second, which is slightly larger. It's got a lot more GPIO pins on there. So this has 48 usable GPIO pins. So that means it's going to be amazing for projects that use a lot of input-output.
We've made a lot of use of that.
Yeah.
In the stuff we're kicking out today.
Yeah. So what I'll do, I'll go over to here and I'll show you this compared to the previous model. So this is the Pico 2, and this is the previous Pico. So it looks very, very similar. It looks identical from a layout point of view. I'll go to the overhead now so you can see this in a bit more detail. So here we go. This is the Pico 2 next to the Pico. So you can see there it's got the exact same layout of pins, I/O, no extra features from a buttons point of view, but obviously we've got twice the memory, twice the number of cores, and so on. We're going to talk about all these other things in a second as well. So let's go back over to our slides. So yeah, at a glance then, higher clock speed. So you're now running at 150. As opposed to what was the other one, 130?
133 for, yeah.
Yeah.
So officially it's 150 where it starts.
Yeah.
And that's the stock speed.
Yeah. Double the RAM, which is going to be amazing for all kinds of projects. So if you're running, I'm thinking about, if you're running things that do lots of graphics processing, then that extra RAM means we can shove more bits around and do some more interesting stuff with that. Now, one of the most notable features is this new ARM Trust Zone security feature. With a signed boot. So this is a lot more secure than the previous Pico, which used a security through obscurity kind of model, didn't it? Whereas this is a proper
secure. Yeah, it is very much Jelly Bean part. This is now doing all the things that you expect from a modern microcontroller.
Yeah.
And, that's going to get a really good kicking today.
Yeah.
Because I think they just announced that the DEF CON badge has it on.
Oh, fantastic. Yes, and it also has a new deep sleep feature. So the previous Pico would run very low power, but this one is almost no power at all, isn't it? It's very, very...
There's a lot more refinement to the power domain, so it can sip power or go dormant and leave I think the bits of the chip you can leave on and off now are a lot more flexible.
Yeah.
So it's just good at doing the things that the RP2040 was maybe not quite so refined at.
Yeah. And so if there's a new chip available, the RP2350, that means there's going to be a load more products available. So I'm here in the in the mothership of Pimoroni in the factory with a whole bunch of really interesting things on the table. So we'll go through these and we can talk a lot more about
the first
them.
wave.
So, the first wave. So talk to us about the Tiny, which I will show people on the screen there.
Yep. So 4 of these products are really respins and updates and much more accomplished versions of stuff we've done before with the RP2040. So this is the Tiny 2350. Now has the Quest port, Quick Stemmer, and also 4 megabytes of flash as standard on the back. And all our boards will have at least 4 megabytes of flash, simply because we lean on MicroPython so heavily, it gives a lot more headroom to it.
So I'll move over to the next one, which is the Pimoroni Pico Plus 2.
Yep.
Let's go over to the overhead on that one.
So going from the smallest board, this is the most fully featured one. This has 16 megabytes of flash, but also now, as well as the double RAM on board, it now supports PS RAM as a built-in feature. So this has 8 megabytes of PS RAM shared with the QSPI. So that's a lot of RAM to throw around.
You can see the different size of a package there as well. That's the A size, and that's the B size with a much larger GPIO thing on the side.
If you look on the other side, that's got a new port as well that we're including on a few new things. That's our Spice port, SP/CE, which is mainly for, it's doing the same thing that Quick or Stemma QT did, or Modulino, but now for SPI, and we will hopefully have a cellular board coming out to attach to that. So we're starting to include it on where we can, where there's space, and it's good for SPI connections.
And you've got the USB-C connector on there as well.
Yep, USB-C wherever we can.
Yeah. Cool. So let's go back to let's talk about the PGA 2350.
Yep. So that's the bigger chip again. And what it is essentially a minimal breakout. But again, it's got the maximum flash, the maximum PS RAM on there. 16 megabytes flash, 8 gigabytes PS RAM. And it's a 0.1 inch, 2.54 millimeter pin header breakout. So if you want to play with your own product, then it's a good place to start for quick prototyping. And there's one we soldered up. Hodgie soldered up nice and proper for us.
Cool. So let's move over to I think one of my favourite new boards, the Plasma 2350. So let's have a look at that one in a bit more detail.
Yeah, people have been very happy with our kind of single-use or purpose-built boards where we have a very focused application with the chip involved. And Plasma 2350 is basically an update to the Plasma stick. And again, it has the Spice port. Otherwise, it has the connectors for a LED strip, powered via USB-C, or you can do supplementary power. And it's got button and a little bit more GPIO broken out there. And buttons. Yeah. So if you just want an installation to go away doing random maths, then that's it.
And the stick didn't have the little rainbow button there, the little LED there, did it?
Is that new? The stick, no. It was on the Plasma 2040, but not the stick.
Yeah.
I think. Maybe. Yeah. I don't remember now.
I think autofocus here, sorry about that.
Yep. So those are our kind of standard upgrade boards where same form factor enhanced and made a little bit better. And with the new chip, which is a beast in comparison.
Yeah. Now, the thing that we've not talked about so far, which is on the desk, that people will be thinking, what the hell is that? Tell me about the Jumbo.
Yeah, so the previous 4 boards, they're in stock, and you can order them. They'll ship tomorrow or maybe Monday because things will be quite busy. These next 2 and the Pico 2 itself they're on pre-order now, but we expect to ship them within a couple, 3-4 weeks. So this is the Pico Jumbo. And this is really, it started as kind of an educational classroom thing and turned into an art project. The other side, as you'll see, can't flip it. full colour PCB showing the artwork of the Pico 2 as used under license from Raspberry Pi, so we don't get sued. Yeah, and it's functional. All the GPIO pins are connected up. They're crocodile clip sized, so you can put your alligator clips on there, and they take banana plugs if you've got the right size normal banana plugs. The LED on there works as well. And generally, yeah, it's just a 350% scale Pico 2.
That's just insane.
Yep, and we'll ship it with legs so you can stand it up on the shelf as an art project.
Fantastic.
Because that's what we want to do with it. But it's great for classroom education, and we'll have a starter kit with kind of big LEDs and bigger resistors just to make it feel right. And at some point, like Chris, we're going to have 3D models for the legs, aren't we? So you can print your own. He's working on it right now, just over there. The LED is functional and connected to the LED pin via the test pad on the bottom of the Pico 2.
That's amazing.
So we would have released this today, but we didn't notice that the test pad had moved slightly. And we found that out at the very last minute.
Excellent. Let's get back over to here. We've got more. So this, I think, the previous generation of the Explorer, the Pico Explorer, I think is one of my favourite all-time boards because it's just got all the right things that you need when you're doing kind of, projects and experimentations with things. So
yep.
I absolutely love this. So let's have a look at this in a bit more detail.
This is the crown jewel. This is my favourite one ever. The Pico Explorer was really popular. It's a good playground. We've now remixed it because I didn't like the form factor. I may have rushed the original one, and the layout I didn't quite feel was right, and a few things could be enhanced. So we decided to go all in and turn it into kind of a more of a, what if your electronics playground was a Game Boy type factor? And there it is. Full colour PCB again with some very Explorer whimsical artwork, as seen in kind of iOS game apps, casual gaming apps of circa 2019.
And these buttons are very nice soft touch buttons.
It's got the soft touch buttons. Yeah. It's got the 2.8 inch screen from the Display Pack 2.8. So that is 320 by 240 now. And the size is very good. It's got servo connectors. Oh. It's got 2 Quest ports. It's got the crocodile clip ports. And it's got GPIO, including all the ADC, that the bigger 2350B breaks out. And it just looks freaking adorable. And the speaker and the amp.
Yeah.
And yeah, the budge wire, that's why it's on pre-order. We got one net the wrong name. We might have been crushing these products for a while. It's a lot of them.
Yeah, and that PCBI is just gorgeous. I really love that.
In real life, it looks pretty good on the internet, but in real life, it's just
chef kiss.
We decided we needed nice, tasteful PCBs.
Yeah,
so the Jumbo and the Explorer are it.
There's the boards as they come from the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have this feeling I'm probably very loud because I'm next to the microphone and kind of like on an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, absolutely loving that.
Yeah. So you can see as well, the finished one is slightly darker than the one pre. But that's after going through the oven, and the difference is pretty minimal. So the whole RGB solder mask is, fantastic. And it's got legs for standing on the desk as well.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Love that.
I think the final breadboard on there will be black, but we made a few special editions. Yeah. Which I think you get to take one of those away. But we've made the stealth breadboard that actually reflects the artwork on the PCB behind it.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
So let's go to, there's a couple more. So yeah, here's the table of comparison. You can see on there how much flash RAM each of these different products have. So the Pico comes with 4 megs of flash on board.
I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah. Yep. It's been upgraded as well.
Yep, that's the micro B USB connector.
Mm-hmm.
So the Pico Jumbo sort of matches that. And then the tiny 2350, that's also got the 4 megs of RAM. It has the USB-C and also has the Quest connectors on it. Similar with the Plasma 2350, but that's also got the Spice connector on it as well.
Yeah. So what you have now is Spice Quest.
Spice Quest.
Yep.
Love it. And the Pimoroni Explorer. So that's got a whole 16 megs of flash RAM.
Yep, but no PS RAM. We felt we didn't need it for that LCD.
Yep.
In-memory frame buffer is perfectly fine.
Yeah. And that's also got the battery and the speaker as well, connectors, which is great.
Yep.
The Pimoroni Pico Plus 2. So that's also got 16 megs of flash, but 8 megs of PS RAM.
Yes.
So
that's fully populated. Everything you could hope for in a dev platform. You can use it or not as you see fit.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's also got the Quest, the Spice, and the debug connectors. And then the PGA 2350, that's maxed out as well, with 16 megs of flash and 8 meg of PS RAM.
Yep.
So yeah, so that PS RAM, that's a new thing, isn't it? Where you can have higher amounts of PS RAM.
Yeah, so we had a product or two. I think they only ever made it to kind of demo prototype stage where we were using other pins to address the PS RAM. And it involved some real nasty hacks but it was pretty good. Now it's been made kind of a first-class citizen, and it's built into the whole thing where it shares the QSPI connections. They have a chip select, and that allows you to chop and change between them. It's not as fast as the internal RAM, but it is plenty fast. It's also worth mentioning that this board seems at least as overclockable as the RP2040, and the RP2040 was a beast for overclocking.
Yeah.
I think so far we've put Mike, who's done a lot of the good dev work, has pushed one to 480 megahertz, and it only crashes some of the time. And you can cook eggs on it and things, but yeah, you can push these real hard.
So there you go. There's the comparison of the Pico 2 versus the Pimoroni Pico Plus 2.
Yeah.
So somebody's just asking about the connectors. Yeah, so this one has a USB-C versus the micro B on the Pico 2.
Yep.
Exactly the same size.
Where we have a choice, we do USB-C these days. Its time has come.
Yeah.
I think everything I own now uses USB-C.
Yeah.
I think what's the only thing that doesn't use it so far? There is nothing. I think kind of Apple Watch was the last thing.
Yeah.
But my electric toothbrush, my hair shavers, which I've used today to great effect, they all use USB for charging at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, it's taken over.
Yeah. So there's a couple of other things as well I thought we'd cover off while we're in the factory and we're talking about PIM stuff. So the Pico Display 2.8. So I've got one of these here. This is the new display pack for the Pico. And this obviously will work with the new Pico 2 as well.
Absolutely, yep.
Yep. So it's much bigger than the previous, which was like a 2-inch, wasn't it? This is 2.8.
Yeah. 0.8 of an inch doesn't sound like much, but it's the diagonal,
yeah.
So it makes a big difference.
Yeah. And that's also got the Spice connector on it, I can see as well.
Yeah, just tucked in the corner there with the Quest as well.
Nice. So yeah, these are great for all kinds of projects, but that's a really nice size of display.
It feels very readable.
Yeah. You've got 2 buttons on there as well. Sort of A, B, X, Y. Autofocus.
You have to put it in the middle.
There we go. Yes, there we go.
Oh. Cool.
So let's have a look what else we've got on here. So the Picade Max, which is just behind us here, isn't it?
Yeah, just looking in the background there. That's one of the BT units, the one we used to weigh the packaging and test the packaging. All the BT units sold out and they've now been sent out to people. And we're just waiting to hear feedback. And we've put up the pre-order for the final edition, which we're expecting, I think, October now, all being well. You know, touch wood, touch laminate wood, veneer.
Excellent. It's absolutely gorgeous. I didn't realise how large it was. We've got...
Yeah. You put the original next to it, and it's as big as a small arcade cabinet should be.
Yeah.
It's 2-player, but it does have a 1-player option in the box, so we include both control surfaces.
Yeah. So somebody, Richard's saying there, I wonder if Kevin can drop a few bits off on the way home.
Hi, Richard S. Hi, Mum.
So that's the Picade Max, and then the Tiny Effects. So I've got one of these, but I've not had time to play with it yet. Can't wait. We've got a little demo behind us, actually.
That's turned off, hasn't it?
What's
happened to it?
Oh,
there we go.
Activated.
Yeah, it's got a PIR sensor on it, which again we need to release. So there's been a lot of Lego embed lights around, and we found that the controllers out there tend to be kind of manually controlled and not very smart. So we've built one with an RP2040 in for not a lot of money, and it is 3x4 bricks, wide and tall, well, not tall, wide and high. So it's very embeddable and works with the teeny tiny teensy connectors, which, if you've never seen these lights, let's have a look here. There's the cables they tend to use.
Absolutely.
Because they go in some very small models.
I
I think I bought all the connectors, but none of the lights.
Look at the tiny little connectors.
Yeah. It's like angel hair. So we have the modules, which can be RGB, monocolor, of various stripes. You can power them with batteries or with a USB breakout, or you can just plug in a USB cable to the USB-C on the TinyFX and run it over serial. But that's how you can program it as well. And Chris has written a really good MicroPython library for it, so it's easy to make. It's easy to make all the effects work without kind of it being a pain. And that's the thing that we've kind of brought to the game here. It's smart, it's programmable, it's hackable.
Tom, managed to hear the team's collapse and panting after getting all the stock code tested.
Tom's a legend. He's been running around, keeping spirits up, and generally making things go the right way as much as possible. And yeah, this is phase 1 of our release. There will be more stuff coming, but that's weeks and weeks away.
Yes.
Today, we have, I think, between the Pico 2, the 6 new products, and 3 or 4 starter kits.
Yeah.
We have 13 new products launching today, effectively.
Wow.
Something like that. I think that's 10. Yeah, and we got the 3 products, the display pack, the Pico Max, and the TinyFX. So that's 13 new products we've suddenly splurged out over the last couple of weeks, which, yeah, it's good to be back.
Good to be back. Excellent. And this is absolutely gorgeous. I didn't just drop something on the floor then. This, I think, is my new favourite comedy board. Look at the size of that.
Yeah.
That is just amazing. Yeah. We need the banana for scale on that one, don't we?
Love that to bits.
And there's the Pico 2.
Cool.
Once again. So yeah, I think that's everything product-wise we're going to cover off today, isn't it? I was just going to just briefly talk about the SPCE connector.
Yeah. So we used it for our own purposes. We have this, like I say, cellular board coming out, which actually uses kind of UART, but we find that things need a few more pins generally like this. Yeah. So this is just the Quest connector, but wider, so you can use the pins for things that need a few more pins for things like RTS, CTS pins, SPI, all of that kind of stuff. And there's no particular set pattern. It connects to sensible, reprogrammable pins for whatever purpose the board needs.
Yeah.
And yeah, our first one is going to be an LTE breakout.
Can't wait for that.
Yep. Exciting things coming.
Exciting things coming. So yes, as I'm broadcasting this also on the Pimroni channel, you might also want to check out my channel as well. I'm on YouTube, KevMacLear28, or you can just go to kevsrobots.com and check out loads of projects that use a lot of these Pimroni products as well. Good reason I use all these in my products. I used them before I became doing the videos for you guys, because they're obviously so great.
Go check out the channel. Whoa, you put it way too quickly. Go check out Kev's channel. He's done lots of videos for Pimroni. He's been keeping the flames burning there. And yeah, he deserves all the props in the world. How many subscribers are you at now?
It's at 32,200 and something or other.
Right.
So getting there slowly.
Let's hit that 32k, 32768. And yeah, we basically kind of spoke to Kev on the Slacks and said, hey, Kev, we're going to do a launch this week. How do you fancy coming up and live streaming? And he was like, ah. And at the last minute, he came up and yeah, you could not tell that this was a last minute thing at all, despite all my junk in the background. Yeah.
And I had to bring my entire live stream studio with me as well.
Yeah.
So that's all set up here.
It's a heck of a setup since we did this for the last launch, didn't we? Pico.
Yeah. Pico W.
Pico W.
Yeah.
We did this, and your kit has come on a long way. It's a sharp setup you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's neat. Works, does the trick.
Yeah. Love it to bits, man.
Yeah. So I think that's everything I've got to cover off today. So unless there's anything else you want to mention.
That's it, unless people have questions.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We'll give a couple of seconds for people to ask some questions. I think there's like a 30-second delay between people asking questions and them appearing on the screen. What we'll do, I'll
Yeah.
just bring up on some people who've joined the chat.
There's a good post on the Raspberry Pi blog news from Eben, which covers off all the boards that have come out from all the producers and the kind of the base cost if you're buying a reel of these. And it also mentions that there will be some coming that have built-in flash on the chip.
Yeah.
So instead of having to put a separate flash chip on, you can have a kind of all-in-one. So 2354. We get to use that last zero.
2354. I did have a slide, but I think I deleted it before the live stream. But that explained what all the different numbers on the RP20 2040 or 2350 mean. So the RP is obviously Raspberry Pi. The 2 is the number of cores that it has. Although this one does have 4 cores, you can only use 2 at a time.
Yeah, 4 cores, pick 2.
Yep. The 3 is the model of core. So this is an M33. The previous one was an M0 Plus. The 4 or the third character along that one is something like the floor log 2 of the RAM, isn't it?
Yep.
So it's how much RAM. So this one's got 520 kilobytes of RAM, and then the 0 is just the PS RAM, isn't it? If there's a PS RAM, there's an additional amount on there, which is what the 4 is about. Yeah. So yeah, let's see what else. So Deshapu says, "Oh wow." He sent me a really cool robot kit, by the way. I'll be covering off pretty soon, actually.
I think we chatted a bit in Berlin at the Hackaday, Europe, Berlin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still got to work out that LCD.
Yep. The LED functional too. Yep, we covered that off. Nice.
Good.
So how do you get the LED connected?
Yep, the test pad's on the bottom of the Pico 2. So if you've got the Pico 2 there, you look on the bottom, it's got test pads 4, 5, and 6.
Let's focus.
Yeah, top right there as you're looking at the screen. Yep. Connect to those, and that's what makes the LED connect pad. The one below it is the boot select pin.
No, you've got that little. Is that the pin there?
That's it. That's the LED. Yeah. But it's slightly too low, so it hits the boot select pin.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hell says hello. Hello, Hell. Who's across the studio there?
I think Hell and Chris and everyone have been doing their best Blue Arse Fly impression.
Which is loving the jumbo board. It is really cool. It's ridiculously cool. It's what it is.
It's the right kind of silly.
Yeah. Cool. How's this clarifying about the test pad for the LED? Yeah, the RGB solder mask is this is just next level. This is absolutely amazing.
I think we've used it to great effect here.
Yeah, it's like a photograph now, but even better.
I expect there will be a lot of boards that are not quite so tasteful coming out, so we're getting in early. But yeah, people should do what they want with it. It's great stuff.
Build anti-vampire nails.
Yeah, the Explorer legs.
Oh,
they are spiky. They're very hard to drive through skin.
Yeah.
But if you're killing a vampire, you're going to work extra hard. But yes, they should be fairly kid-friendly.
Yeah.
But it'd be amazing what kids can do.
So it's pretty interesting they still use a micro USB on the Pi Pico 2.
Yep.
I guess it's a compatibility thing. Might as well stick with that form factor.
Yeah, I think there's always this rule that they should be using the best commodity part to keep the price low.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if USB-C has a higher cost or anything.
Potentially. I think if you're doing the licensing right and getting a quality part, there will be a higher cost.
Yeah.
Also, just kind of manufacturability if you're connecting all the pins.
Yeah. I do remember having a conversation with Eben about, when you think about the cost of putting together something like this, you'll see knockoff ones that will have cheaper resistors, cheaper capacitors, and it might be like a fraction of a penny cheaper, but it might mean that it lasts years longer if you have the quality one. So the sort of quality parts that are used in these have been selected on purpose.
Everyone wants them to last 10 years, quite happily.
Yeah.
I think as well, we forget that even though we have lots of USB-C cables, that is not the rule around the world.
Yeah. It says, I wish they'd gone for USB-C on the OREM board. What's the OREM board?
Don't know.
Not sure that one is, Richard.
Original manufacturer? Maybe.
OEM, yeah. Sure there'll be clones with USB-C.
Yep.
Yours isn't a clone. Genuine, that's cool.
Plus, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. +2. And then, yeah, PS1 is great for graphics. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. And Hal says, yeah, Pico 2 has USB-C. As does the Tiny. That's a little value add that you add to your boards as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I think we've built our own batteries included MicroPython again that will have Pico graphics, Pico vector, QR code generation, JPEG GIF, and PNG decoding, and audio stuff.
Yeah.
So generally, that goes along with the boards, although it is there for everyone to use. Yeah. But we hope to have some demos soon. We've only just got it building, and I think the source is being pushed out pretty much now for MicroPython.
Yeah.
And it'll take a little while to stabilize and take the corners off, but yeah.
Yeah, so Sandy's asking the question. Sandy does all the great photography for Pimoroni.
Yeah. Look at all the product photos. Sandy did the good ones. He's been looking after us forever.
So
he went back to academia, but he finds time away from kind of, I don't know, DNA sequencing random animals to take amazing photos. He's got a good body of work.
Yeah. So he's asking there, any plans for taking advantage of the security stuff?
Not really. Until somebody asks us to, or somebody has a need for it, we might get around to poking at it at some point.
Yeah.
But it tends to be there's a restriction there in getting used to all the kind of the signing and everything.
Yeah, yeah. I know the latest version of MicroPython can do like SSH certificates and things. So if you're doing a web server from a Pico, which sounded crazy 2 years ago, there's loads of them now, I guess, isn't there? You can then have signed certificates for that. You can have the HTTPS, as I understand it.
Yep.
So I don't know if that...
Plus also the signing of binaries and updates and things so that people can't just go around rewriting your firmware on shipping devices.
Hey, Jeff. Launch days are crazy as always.
Hey.
So it says the Pi page mentions the Google Pigweed SDK. Can you tell us more about what that is?
So I think that's their embedded development system, and it's very much about making hardware go right and being able to collect data from your embedded installations so that you can build better, more secure hardware. And the dev kit is just around that, really.
Yeah. So Vincent's saying, has someone found where you can just buy the chip? Because I know there was a point where you could buy them at like $1 each.
That's coming.
That's coming.
Yeah, they will be available on... We'll have them at some point, and it will be available through other channels.
Yeah.
If you need a lot of them soon, talk to Raspberry Pi. They have an email address somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, the cheap ones often use IDO instead of the boost converter.
Yeah, the LDO. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Joshin, how you doing? So, somebody says, I guess I'm thinking of so kindly the trendable hackable two-factor authentication device. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Some kind of.
You definitely want your private keys to be securely tied up. Yeah. As I say, they looks like they're trying to make the security serious because they've taken it to DEF CON.
Yeah.
So it can have a really good kicking there.
Yeah. They
will kick the tires very, very hard to find out any things there. If you remember, I think in the early days of the ESP8266, there was a few things there where the light bulbs were found to maybe not be quite so secure. And it was the point that 1 million were deployed in the field when they found that out.
Yeah.
Raspberry Pi do things right, so they're doing it this way around.
Yeah. I know there was in theory, you could hack every light bulb in New York by finding other ones in the sort of local area and making like a mesh. Because of that very reason. So Josh's got an interesting question there. This is one I asked before, and you got the answer to that one. So the RISC-V and the ARM cores, can they be used simultaneously or are they mutually exclusive?
Okay, so there is 2 of each core, 2 RISC-V, 2 M33 ARM cores, and you pick any 2 of them. So you can have one of these, 2 of these, 2 of these, whatever you want.
So hope that answers the question.
Mix and match.
Yep. And
so floating point, that was a good question.
Yeah, let's go back. They've got a $10 bounty, 10,000 bounty apparently. What's that?
For if you find good hacks.
Awesome. Like a Yuki key.
Yep.
So Anorak1 says, how is the floating point math? So I've seen your docs on that one. It's crazy better, isn't it? Is it 20 times faster on C++?
So this, I think, that is just the very fact that the ARM33 has the floating point unit single precision. That I think is about 20 times quicker than the equivalent ones on the RP2040.
Yeah.
But there are then also accelerators for double precision math that help out a lot. I don't have numbers on those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it says a surprise stream. Absolutely.
Cool.
Great.
Now we're all caught up.
We're all caught up, absolutely. So thanks everybody for joining our surprise stream today. That's been great being here and seeing all the action. People just getting things across the line.
Yeah, sorry we couldn't get you in sooner and be more prepared, but
no.
Thanks for coming up, man, at short notice.
Thanks for having me.
That's all right. And we managed to have burritos pre-stream.
We did.
Which is a terrible idea because I now have burrito juice down my t-shirt.
I've got some as well. So Rites of Passage.
That's why we're from the the waist up.
Great stuff. Well, thanks everybody for watching. I shall see you all very soon.
See you soon, folks.